George Zimmerman is now a free man, but his legal troubles may not be over. And with Trayvon Martin's parents weighing their legal options as well, Zimmerman's acquittal could just be the first chapter in a much longer story. Joining me now is MSNBC legal analyst Lisa Bloom. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Well, let's start with what other aspects of the judicial process could end up being used to target George Zimmerman. The obvious place to start is the Justice Department. There has been an ongoing case that was open. They suspended some of it while the state did what they had to do. But what is the bar for bringing civil rights charges? Right.
So we know that the DOJ is currently investigating whether or not to bring federal charges against Zimmerman. They have a lengthy policy, which I have reviewed in depth, and essentially it boils down to, would the federal charges be different and have different elements than what the state has already decided? Because double jeopardy attaches, meaning that once somebody is acquitted in a state case, the same case cannot be brought again, either in a state court or in federal court. But there are different federal charges potentially involved here, namely civil rights charges. It's so fascinating to me that in the state case, the prosecution said explicitly to the jury a couple of times, this is not about race. If the federal government decides it is about race, that Trayvon Martin's civil rights were violated, and that there's different elements to that crime, they could charge him.
I talked to some folks in the administration who admitted that the bar is pretty high for the Justice Department to bring charges, and that they would be surprised if this case met the bar.
Yeah, and there has to be a high probability of success. Translation, the federal government does not want to go through this whole process again and get another acquittal. So they're certainly going to look at that. They're going to look at the evidence and see if they could come up with something different. But, you know, this has happened before, most notably in the Rodney King case about 20 years ago, where in state court, the police officers who were accused of beating Rodney King were acquitted. The federal government then stepped in, charged them, tried them again, and they were convicted.
And we should mention, George Zimmerman has sued NBC Universal for defamation. The company strongly denies the charges.